Okay, welcome to ACT Prep Day 30. Yes, so you should have either your bell ringer for day 30 in your hand or use on your screen and work the problems on a separate sheet of paper. So this one basically is just saying simplify. You're not going to get an answer, but we're just trying to get these equations in the simplest form before we insert a value for A and B. Again, you wouldn't want me to say, run to the store and buy me 5 + 3 pizzas. You'd want me to simplify it and say, just buy 8. That's what we're wanting to do here. So take about 5 to 10 minutes, pause the video, and when you are done answering, unpause and we will check the answers. Okay, welcome back. Let's check our answers here. And so on the first one, we can simplify the 4a minus 3a. That's just going to be a single a. Here, minus 5y plus 3y is going to simplify to negative 2y. Can't do anything with the x. This one, we've got 10a plus 6a gives us 16a, and negative 5b plus 5b is nothing. So we really don't even need to find out what the value of b is. It doesn't matter in this equation. Here, you've got 21x minus 12x gives us 9x. This one actually is wrong. Should be, hopefully you've caught it, and I just haven't figured out how to fix this. Should be 12y. Because 10y minus a minus 2 is 10 plus 2, so it gives us plus 12y. We can combine the two a's here to get 16. Negative 15b minus 3b gives us negative 18b. Here, you just are going to distribute this 3 all the way through. And same thing here. You're going to distribute this 1/2. Half of 4 is 2, and half of negative 2 is negative 1. Hopefully everybody's like, yes, I got it all right. Okay, so today we're going to talk about functions and how to solve functions. Now, you've had functions in Algebra 1, so everybody should have had it by now. And let's go back over what a function is. A function is a relationship where for every input, there's exactly one output. Basically, that means for every x, there is exactly one y. That's the definition of a function. For every x, there's only one y. We're not going to get, oh, x can be 1, 2, or 3. It's if x is 1, it only has one answer, which might be 3. Now, there's ways to test to see if you have a function. Probably the biggest one, if you have a graph, is the vertical line test. If you can draw a vertical line anywhere on the graph and it touches the graph in more than one point, then it's not a function. If you can do a vertical line anywhere and it only touches in one point, then it's a function. Let's look at some examples here. If I draw vertical lines anywhere on this graph, is it going to intersect this graph in more than one point? The answer is no. This is a function. But now let's take that parabola and let's turn it on its side. Okay. Now if I draw a vertical line, do you see where it touches twice? So this one is not a function. When x is 5, y is positive 2 and negative 2. It's not a function. Now, what if you don't have the graph? Okay, there's other ways that we can do it. We can check mapping. And when we map, that's basically when we're given, like here, x and y coordinates. Okay, when x is negative 1, y is 2. When x is 0, y is 5. And we're going to keep going. So if I look here, when you do mapping, first thing I'm going to do is check to see if I have an x listed twice. And I don't. Don't have an x listed twice. And there's not two answers here. So yes, this is a function. Now, this one here, and there's a typo. Let me make it black so it looks, it's supposed to be this. Okay. So is this one a function? Well, again, I go back and I check all of my x's. I see that I've got -1 listed twice. So then I need to go check the answers. And are the answers different? Yeah, the answers are completely different. So when x is -1, y can be 4 or 0. It's not a function. Okay. Now, when we have a function, it's going to be written as f of x. That is what this means. Okay, so instead of it being y equals, it's going to go f of x. And that is telling us that for every x, there's only one y. This is a function. I should get a single outcome. Now, just like we do x, y, z for variables, we're going to start with f of x, and then you can have g of x and h of x to show different functions. And you need to know that f parentheses x means f of x. That's what we're going to say. If you're thinking back to algebra, like linear equations, f of x is basically the y. So here we've got, this is a function, f of x equals x plus 3. Again, you can think of it like this. Y equals x plus 3. X is the independent variable, y is the dependent variable. Once you tell me what x is, I can tell you what y is. Same thing with the function. Once you tell me what x is, I can tell you what the function equals. Now, when you're solving functions, find x in the expression and plug the value in for x, okay? So if we look here, we have, this is basically what this is saying. Here's a function, and the function of x is x plus 6. Find f of 3. What this is telling you, f of 3, is it's saying use this function, and everywhere you see an x, replace it with a 3. Everywhere you see an x, replace it with this 3. So go back here. There's an x. Let's replace it with a 3. It's the only x. So f of 3 is equal to 3 plus 6, which is 9. So when x is 3, y is 9. That's all that means. F of 3 means replace every x in the function with a 3. Now, we can embed functions as well. This one is stated f of g of x. And it's basically, it's a function within a function. So what we have to do is find the answer for g of x, and then that will be the value for your x's in the f function. Probably lost a few of you there. Keep going. Come on. And we're going to work the problem so you'll see. So here is the example. Here is my f of x. Here is my g of x function. So in order to do f of g of 2, I have got to solve the g equation for g of 2. And g of 2 means everywhere you see an x in this function, replace it with a 2. So 2 squared is 4 plus 2. So g of 2 is equal to 6. So if I want f of g of 2 and g of 2 is equal to 6, now I'm finding the function of 6. So go over here to f of x. So when it's f of 6, I'm just going to replace everywhere I see an x with a 2. So here you can see that f of 6. So 2 times 6 plus 1 gives me 13. It's really just a two-step equation. Here is our example. You've got the function g of x equals x cubed plus 4x minus 1. And then they're asking, what is g of negative 2? Pause the video, take a few minutes, try to answer on your own, and then unpause, and we will check your answer. Okay, welcome back. Now remember, this right here, g of negative 2, means everywhere you see an X, replace it with a -2. And I see 2 X's. So let's rewrite this. The book's probably going to do it better, so let me defer to that versus my horrible number writing. So we've got -2 cubed. We plugged a -2 in here, plus 4 times -2 minus 1. Well, -2 cubed is -8. -2 times 4 is -8, and then -1. We add all these together. Okay, and we get -17. How many people got it right? Hopefully everybody's putting their hand up. Okay, so today you have 6 questions. Ooh, we got a lot here. So you can either use the timer there or set a timer on your phone or your computer, whatever device you have. Set it for 6 minutes kind of time and see how well you do on these questions. Pause the video, and as soon as you're done, get back with me and we'll check the answers. Okay, welcome back. Let's look at our first one. So we have a simple function here, g of x, and then they're just saying, what is g of -4? Again, everywhere you see an x, replace it with a what? -4, that's right. So we're going to have negative, this one's a little tricky, -4 squared. We do not multiply these yet. Exponents first. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Plus 3 times -4 minus 2. So -4 squared is +16 times the negative, and this is where students mess up. I get -16 minus 12 minus 2. And that's going to give us -30. Now the next one, here it says f of x equals x squared minus 4, and it has a domain. Domain means x values. Range is y, up and down. Set of integers from 1 through 10 inclusive, so that means it includes 1, 2, it includes 1 and 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because it's integers, we're not doing decimals or fractions. For how many values of x is f of x positive? Okay, well, let's just try it. If x is 1, we get 1 squared minus 4 is -3. It's not that 1. Let's try 2. 2 squared minus 4 is 0. It's not 2. When we get to 3, 3 squared is 9 minus 4. Now we've got 5 positive. So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8. Yeah, have to do a little kindergarten finger counting there. Next one. Here you've got f of x and g of x, and they're wanting to know what is f of g of x. Again, we've got to solve g of x first. Okay. Sorry, I spoke too soon because they're not giving me g of 3 or something like that. So basically what they're wanting you to do is if g of x is 3x minus 3, I could rewrite this as f of 3 minus x. I could replace the g of x with that. And so that's basically telling me in this function, everywhere you see an x, you replace it with a 3 minus x. So here we're going to have 3 minus x squared plus 2. Need to FOIL this because obviously with the answers I need to FOIL. So this is going to be 9 minus 6x plus x squared, plus 2. And so I'm just going to try to make it fit over here and put the x squared first because that's the way we really should have it. X squared minus 6x, and then I can combine the 9 and the 2 to get plus 11. Yeah. Now remember, you have to FOIL this. This is not 9 minus x squared. No, it is 3 minus x times 3 minus x, which gives us a trinomial. Now here we've got g of h of x. So I have to solve, they've given us a value for h of 5. I need to solve this one first. So this is going to become 5 minus 2 over 5 squared. Ooh, now I see this and I'm just like, oh, that's ugly. It's a fraction. I'm kind of freaking out. Some of you are probably going to take your calculator and put it to a decimal. Don't do it. Leave it as a fraction, okay? Because this has to be done by hand, I've done enough problems. It's going to work itself out. So now, this is what we're going to substitute over here for x. And we're going to get 3 divided by, oh, add 7. That should be a 3. Oops, I'm totally sorry. Y'all are probably screaming at the screen, going, Edwards, 5 minus 2 is not 7. It's 3. You're right, it's 3. So now we get 3 divided by 3/25. And remember, when you divide, you do same, change, flip. This is why I said don't freak out over the fraction. It's also how I caught my mistake. Those cancel out, and the answer is simply 25. These are just tedious, and you really want to write it all out, write clearly, so that you don't make any mistakes. Now let's look at this one. What is the expression for f of x plus 2 if f of x is 3x minus 1? Again, all you do is everywhere you see an x, replace it with an x plus 2. So 3 times x plus 2 minus 1. We're going to get 3x plus 6 minus 1 gives us 3x plus 5. And you got to be a little diligent here because you got plus 5 minus 5. Make sure you don't mess up your positive and negatives. Now this next one, students always, if you're in class, they're usually like, oh, I don't know how to do this. It's going to be really easy. Here we're saying when numbers are less than or equal to 1, use this function. But when x is greater than 1, use this function. That's all it's saying. And sometimes it looks like one of those graphs that does like this, and then it's a straight line. That's not really a good example of a straight line. But the graph is just different. And I can tell this is a curvy line, this is a straight line. Probably looks something like that. So it's asking, what is f of positive 1? We'll go up here and see which one of these includes positive 1. We want x greater than 1 here. It's not greater than. Here, x is less than or equal to 1. So we're going to use this equation. Technically, we don't even need this one. So now just substitute 1 in here. 1 squared minus 2 is negative 1. This is why we do practice problems, because when you see this one next time, you'll remember, oh, yeah, I probably don't use both of them. Your exit ticket. Your exit ticket is basically, and I've said this, I've spelled it out in this video. If you're given f of x, what does f of 4 mean? Yeah. So if you forgot, go back and rewatch the video, and I told you f of 3, basically what that meant to do. So have fun, and we will see you for day 31.